Includes is the Ansible term for calling a playbook, tasks, or handlers file and using it in your current playbook. So, how would this look from an Ansible perspective? Let's say, for example, that you have two disparate playbooks that you want to run at the same time. So, you include the other playbook in your main playbook file, and then the two run back to back. Similarly, if you have a tasks file with a list of tasks you would like to use, you can include those as well alongside the tasks in your main playbooks. The syntax for this is pretty simple. Taking a look at my mariadb.yml file, which is mostly intact from all of our meddling over the past few lessons, I can actually include some more tasks using the include directive to do other things on my server. All I have to do is decide where I want my include to go in my playbook, as Ansible executes tasks in order from top to bottom. So if I put an include at the top, that will happen first. Likewise, if I put an include at the bottom, it will execute my normal tasks first and then go to the includes. The include I'm going to use here is just a tasks file with two tasks that install SE Linux and test if it's enforcing, which we'll look at in just a second. I'm going to place the include at the top right underneath my tasks directive. The syntax is just include and then the name of the file, which is selinux.yml. And notice I don't have a path because it's at the same level as this playbook. So now when I go to run this playbook, the two SE Linux tasks will execute first after we gather facts, and then it will move on to the database tasks as listed here. I can also include whole other playbooks with includes if I want, especially if I'm targeting a different host in the group. So if I want the entirety of this playbook to execute and then begin on another, I can add an include at the bottom at the same level as my play header. Then I'll do an include webservers.yml, and then that will run at the end as if another playbook was starting. So I'm not going to keep this in the file when I run it though, but this is the syntax you would use if you wanted to include a whole other playbook at the end of your current playbook. Before we move on, I wanted to preview some future lessons. So include statements are considered to be the precursor to something called roles. And roles basically take the idea of including other pieces of playbooks to a new level. But I wanted to mention before we run the sample playbook that includes and roles can be used side by side. So while roles are great and you should totally use them when writing your playbooks, don't forget that you can use includes too. So let's go ahead and run this playbook so you can see how the include looks in the output. So I'll just exit out of here and save. And I'm just going to cat my SE Linux file real quick to show you that it's just two tasks. I'm installing two SE Linux packages and then testing if it's enforcing. So now I will run the playbook with Ansible-playbook-i hosts and then mariadb.yml. Okay, so it's going to gather facts. Then my include should happen, which as you can see, the include is listed. So it's going to go through those two tasks. Then it's going to go through the MariaDB tasks that we had already done previously. And so this should complete shortly. And once it does, then great, that's perfect.